Indian energy sector and the promise of Urja Vata 2024 through a short documentary film. India has emerged as the fastest growing economy in the world and also advancing.
When I look at the state in which we find ourselves today, I cannot think of any bigger challenge that confronts us than the need to ramp up and transform the manner in which we are looking at issues relating to exploration and production. No matter which way you look at it, it is integral in our journey towards energy self-sufficiency, which is critical for sustained economic growth, and E&P offers investment opportunities at least worth $100 billion by 2030. Having outlined the importance and the potential, I think I would be failing in my duty if I did not underline strongly that despite our progress, much of our exploration and production potential still lies untapped within India's 26 sedimentary basins. I find it particularly discomforting that, considering that we continue to be dependent on crude oil imports to over 85% of our requirements, and despite the abundant geological resources available to us, our efforts in the past have been far short of what needs to be done. Our sedimentary basin is approximately nestled with approximately 651.8 million metric tons of crude oil and 1,138.6 billion cubic meters of natural gas. And this is where we come to our failings. Only 10% of this sedimentary basin is currently under exploration today. After the award of the blocks under the forthcoming OALP rounds, it will increase to 16% by end 2024. While this is good progress, 6% in one go, it is not enough. I wish to use this opportunity to lay down the gauntlet, including my friends at the DGH, to step up. The focus of our exploratory endeavors must pivot towards discovering yet to find resources. I'm aware of the various challenges stakeholders are facing, but also of the work needed to streamline operational and regulatory processes. It is important that we provide our labor pool with competitive opportunities, diversify our procurement, and strengthen our engineering operation. The government is doing its part to catalyze investments in E&P. The Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas has instituted sweeping reforms, empowering stakeholders to contribute to our nation's progress. We intend to increase India's exploration acreage to 1 million square kilometers by 2030. No-go areas in India's EEZ have also been reduced by almost 99%. The Open Acreage Licensing Policy, OALP, has accelerated production growth. Through the first 8 rounds, a total of 144 blocks covering approximately 244,000 square kilometers have been awarded. The recently announced OALP 9th round offers an area of approximately 136.596 thousand kilometers, 136,596 square kilometers, spread over 8 sedimentary basins, with the vision of expanding the nation's footprint in offshore exploration. Since its inception in 2015, the Discovered Small Field policy has garnered investments of approximately $2 billion and brought in 29 new players in the field. The recent special DSF bid round presents fresh opportunities in Mumbai offshore and West Bengal. The opening up of the erstwhile no-go areas has paved the way for exploration activities in previously restricted zones, fostering investments notably in regions such as the Andamans. DGH is upgrading the National Data Repository to a cloud-based NDR, which will enable instant dissemination of seismic, well, and production data. I was following up why it hasn't been done yet, and now I have been assured the work order will be placed within 1 month. That we are committed to supporting ENP. We will not tolerate inordinate delays by any organization. Second, I have instructed the technical staff at DGH and MOPNG to have closer interaction with operators, visit the field more often, develop a better understanding of the ecosystem in which operations are conducted, and DGH shall approve all annual work program budgets prior to the financial year to provide contractors to execute their activities in a time-bound manner. I am glad to announce the formation of a joint working group comprising representatives from the private ENP operators, the national oil companies, my ministry and DGH. It will examine issues relating to the ease of doing business in ENP, adequacy of policies and procedures, and the need for their revision. It will submit its recommendations within 8 weeks.
Of complex processes of obtaining various environmental clearances. Usually there's a delay and that impacts our timelines, missed deadlines, and increased liabilities. So this is a comprehensive handbook formulated to facilitate streamlining of the clearance processes with a particular focus on the Northeast region. It will not only aid in the timely monetization of the oil and gas resources, but also shall contribute to...
No, I'll go through all this in detail and have a discussion with you. Today, of course, it's a more...
geophysical technologies.
Yeah. Okay, so good, then I understand.
Security and offshore.
Okay. Yeah,